mysteriously vanished in America's wilderness. Under strange and unexplainable circumstances. Most cases remain unsolved. What happened? Where did they go? Locations unknown.
Thousands of people have mysteriously vanished in America's wilderness. Join us as we dive into the deep end of the unexplainable and try to piece together what happened. You are listening to Locations Unknown.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Locations Unknown. I'm your co-host, Joey Rado, and with me, as always, is a guy that could ski backwards down Everest, Mike Van de Bogart.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you once again to all of our amazing listeners for tuning in to tonight's show. A couple announcements before we get going. So first, I'd like to thank our new Patreon supporters. So Roy Watson, Brian Gold, and Marcy Baum. Thank you so much for supporting the show.
And I want to thank one of our super fans, John Woods, for the last 3 compliments I gave you were suggestions that he gave.
Oh, wow. Thank you, John.
So if you have funny things you want us to say, if they pass the test, I will throw them in there.
Sweet. Well, thank you.
I won't tell you they didn't pass the test. You just won't hear them.
You won't hear them, yeah. Also, if you want to call and leave a voicemail, you can call 208-391-6913. You can actually also text that number. Once in a while, we get texts. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What did the text say? Are they people texting us?
Yeah, like case suggestions.
Oh, okay.
Once in a while. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, you can actually text the number. So I probably should have mentioned that sooner.
I didn't even know that. Yeah. I'm learning that right now myself.
Some people just started texting it because we've never mentioned that.
Oh, it's probably people that don't know that, like, landlines existed.
Yeah.
There's like a whole generation of people that don't understand what a landline is.
Yeah. So yeah, you can call it, or if you want to, just text because you're afraid of hearing your voice on a future show, you can text it. So also, we've got several other podcasts on the Unknown Media Group network. So Peanut Butter and Mountains podcast, Off the Trails, The Weirdos We Know, Who Runs This Park, and what's the newest one?
Crime Off the Grid.
Crime Off the Grid. Joe,
yep, they just signed on. It's 2 retired park rangers.
Yeah, it's a cool show.
Premises. Yes, very, very good. Very happy to have them on board.
Yeah, so stay tuned for updates about that. What else? So this is a fun episode. I'm going to urge everyone to stick around to the end. I have a little quiz for Joe.
You said it like they normally don't.
Yeah.
All right, please, everybody, listen to the whole episode.
This time, listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, we know we ramble.
Yeah. For all of those listening that say we rambled, you'll like this one. It's probably a quicker one, but I got a little quiz for Joe.
It's not going to be quicker.
Probably won't be. And Joe has not seen the little quiz, so we'll see how he does.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, don't get too excited. It's not that great.
Wow.
No, it's really great. It's awesome.
Self-love, Mike. It's very important.
Just stick around. So any other updates from you?
Nope. All right, everybody. Let's gear up and get out to explore Locations Unknown. America, a melting pot filled with diverse cultures, beautiful natural wonders, and a historic sense of exploration. Among the vast beauty of the wilderness, there lies a more sinister side. Join us this week as we investigate the urban legends of some of the America's best urban legends. I committed.
I was reading it ahead of time, and
You didn't say anything?
no, I didn't. I let you go through with it.
I love how we're not going to edit this out.
We'll cut it out.
Nope.
Do you like the trombone sound effects?
Oh, I think I do have that somewhere. This is just how real this show is.
We're usually pretty buttoned up, but that was too funny for me to interrupt.
I don't know where. Nope.
I know what that one was.
There it is. Yeah, that's when we say we do the show live and oh, it's still going. Don't do that. We're not kidding. We do the show very, very live every time, and we don't do any posts. So when you hear things that don't sound as professional as everyone else, it's because
investigate the urban legends of some of the America's best urban legends.
I can't. And I'm normally very good about reading through it again. I don't know. I got distracted.
That's
You're
okay.
showing me TikToks.
That's all right.
All right.
We'll
Anyway.
forgive you.
So the first location we're talking about, do you have them all listed in different? Are we doing locations before each one?
These are just real brief location summaries, not like what you're probably normally used to hearing. So Joe will go through location, I'll cover the legend, and then we'll rinse and repeat.
Fantastic. So the name of this location, some of you may or may not have heard about this place. It's called Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It's straddled between the borders of Tennessee and North Carolina, is one of the most biodiverse and popular national parks in the United States. It was established in 1934 and designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1983. The park covers over 500,000 acres of lush forested mountains, valleys, and streams. Famous for its misty or smoky haze, the park boasts more than 850 miles of hiking trails, including the Appalachian Trail. Visitors enjoy a range of activities such as wildlife viewing with species like black bear, elk, and salamanders, camping, fishing, and exploring historical structures that reflect the region's Appalachian heritage. The park is home to diverse ecosystems with more than 19,000 documented species of plants and animals and an estimated 80,000 undiscovered species. That's actually pretty wild.
Yeah.
Like
I did not know that.
You could get into botany and discover new species in that area. That's cool.
Yeah, a park kind of more on the eastern side of the U.S. would still have that many undiscovered species, but
I could start doing some like botany dad jokes. Would that help the episode?
sure.
Okay. I'll have to think of some. It draws over 12 million visitors annually, making it the most visited national park in the United States. Highlights include Clingman's Dome, the highest point in the park, and Katie's Cove, a scenic valley teeming with history and wildlife. I think it's Kate's Cove.
Kate's Cove.
Kate's Cove.
All right. So, our first legend or myth we're going to cover is called the Spearfinger. So, have you ever heard of this legend, Joe?
I have not.
I hadn't heard of it either. Sounds pretty terrifying. So, we've got a little bit of a character profile for this legend. So, location is Tennessee. Habitat is forests. This creature is usually active during day and night, so you can see them at any time in the day. Signs the creature may be present while you're hiking will be birds fleeing. Height.
Birds fleeing?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I've been around Spearfinger quite a bit.
Maybe. Height. So this creature kind of like haunches over. So they're only about 2.5 feet high, but still pretty terrifying. So attributes of this creature. The biggest one is stone body. So Spearfinger's entire body is said to be made of stone.
Oh, I was just going to say I'm not really scared by things that height because I feel like I could punt them.
Yeah.
But not if it's stone.
No.
Oh.
And some versions specify rock-like skin or of flint or granite. Arrows and knives bounce off her, rendering her nearly invulnerable. And she also has a sharp stone finger. Her defining feature is a long, pointed index finger made of razor-sharp stone, sometimes flint, sometimes obsidian. This is the weapon she uses to cut into her victims. So, paranormal classification, in case people are wondering, this is
I was wondering.
considered an astral, so spiritual or otherworldly creature. And form or appearance it takes is usually in the form of a spirit. So, very creepy creature. So
I'm going to try and find pictures of this.
Yeah,
That's
there
the one
should
thing I was
be
behind.
There should be
on.
pictures. So,
Because I'm trying to imagine what it looks like.
it looks like, think of like a witch, but like made out of stone with this giant knife finger.
So it's like not like a bunch of things. It's like one witch.
Yeah, I'll get into the origins of it, and
Okay.
yeah, there you can kind of.
Some AI images. Oh, look at it. Yep, see the birds retreating? Hold on, I'm going to share my screen. Yep. I love how that's the only sign.
Right?
If you ever see birds flying away,
Yeah.
it's because Spearfinger's there.
I mean, maybe like a whole forest of birds flies away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of like a witch. I'm getting that impression.
Yeah.
There's a good picture of it with.
I'm surprised they haven't turned this into a horror film.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, Spearfinger movie. I bet there is one. Oh, it's like more
The
independent.
short, like, horror film.
Yeah. All right, keep going in the origin. I want to
Okay.
know more about it.
So, the tale of Spearfinger has been told as a ghost story. Its origins going back centuries and attributed to the Cherokee tribes. Spearfinger is strongly associated with the high ridges of the Great Smoky Mountains, including areas of the Clingman's Dome, Thunderhead Mountain, and Whiteside Mountain. The latter often sighted in southwestern North Carolina, just outside of the Smokies. So she is remembered as a shape-shifting, liver-eating witch whose spear-like finger, which we said was made of stone, is her deadly weapon. According to legend, her body was made of stone, making it nearly impossible, for traditional weapons of the time to hurt her. She can also disguise herself as an old woman or a familiar figure, luring unsuspecting children or isolated travelers. Some accounts say she could appear as a relative or caretaker, leading victims to let their guard down. So Spearfinger was notorious for preying on unsuspecting people, particularly children. Traditional Cherokee beliefs held the liver to be a vital seat of life or spirit. Spearfinger specifically targets human livers, especially those of children, either by stabbing through the victim's side or by stealthily extracting it, so the person sometimes doesn't immediately realize they've been wounded. Because of her ability to transform her appearance, Spearfinger often befriends children, offering them comfort or food only to strike when they are most vulnerable. So, pretty terrifying creature. So, I'm going to actually get into Cherokee legend. There's a whole story about Spearfinger and how Spearfinger is actually defeated by the Cherokee tribe. So,
so it's possible there was a Spearfinger, but she's been killed?
Apparently she's been killed, but there's conflicting evidence that her body was never found.
Oh.
So
it's kind of like the end of the movie when you see the body twitch and then it goes right to credits.
Or like they show the face and all of a sudden like the eye opens.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, sequel.
Yep, here it comes. Money grab.
Yeah. So hundreds of years ago, Spearfinger's attacks started becoming so frequent in certain accounts that entire villages grew fearful of letting children wander alone. Hunters and warriors were also wary of traveling high mountain passes. In some tales, villagers saw an apparently harmless elder or grandmother even and invited her in only to discover too late that it was Spearfinger in disguise. Arrows, spears, knives had no effect on her stone skin. This sowed panic as it seemed no direct confrontation could stop her. Apart from her shape-shifting, Spearfinger was said to blend with rock formations or slip into the mist, vanishing when pursued. So
that's what was throwing me off. So it's nearly 2.5 feet tall as a spirit, but can shapeshift.
Yeah.
Okay.
Into like people you're familiar with.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that makes more sense.
So Cherokee elders and warriors held a council to find a way to defeat Spearfinger, realizing direct attacks failed. They devised a trick involving a concealed pit. They dug a deep trench or pit in a strategic area where Spearfinger was known to roam. They then covered it with brush, leaves, and loose earth, making it look like solid ground. Some versions say the Cherokee placed a small fire or used a wounded child's cry as bait. Others say they spread rumors that an easy victim was in the area. Spearfinger, lured by the smell of potential prey, approached. True to plan, Spearfinger walked across the hidden pit and tumbled in, unable to climb out because of the steep, slippery walls. Even trapped, she was unharmed by arrows, spears, and clubs. Her stone armor repelled every blow, leaving the warriors frantic. According to many Cherokee narratives, a chickadee fluttered nearby or perched on Spearfinger's hand or near her heart. The Cherokee revere the chickadee as a truth teller or bird of prophecy. Its behavior indicated the only vulnerable spot, sometimes said to be her right palm, sometimes the back of her head, sometimes just at the heart. The warriors, guided by the chickadee, focused their arrows on the indicated spot. At last, one arrow struck true, shattering the stone and mortally wounding Spearfinger. Some versions depict Spearfinger begging for mercy, promising never again to harm the Cherokee, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. Too many had suffered at her hands. Her defeat lifted a shadow from the villages. Children and hunters could move with less fear in the mountains. The victory underscored that collective strategy and spiritual guidance could overcome even a seemingly invincible threat. So, even through modern times, Spearfinger continues to be recounted among the eastern band of the Cherokee in and around the Qualla boundary. Near the Great Smoky Mountains. She is also part of storytelling events, cultural demonstrations, and occasionally referenced in local tours or park interpretive programs. So, pretty interesting legend. You'll find a lot of legends in the U.S. have Native American roots. There are a lot of stories that have been told, hundreds of years from, Native American folklore and it
always makes you wonder, like, were there incidences at the time that made them believe it, or was it just stories being told to kids, like, keep them from, like, running out into the woods?
Or, like, a way to get a group of, you tell a story, but the story has an underlining meaning to kind of get people to, do or act in a certain way.
Like how important your liver is?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I found that a really interesting legend. I had never heard of it.
I'd never heard of it either.
So pretty cool.
Absolutely. All right. So we're going to be going to our next one, is bringing us to Alaska.
Back to Alaska. Just there.
Denali National Park, located in Alaska, is a vast wilderness area spanning 6 million acres of rugged terrain, towering peaks, and pristine ecosystems. It was established in 1917 and originally named Mount McKinley National Park. It was later renamed, to reflect the indigenous name of its most iconic feature, Denali, formerly Mount McKinley. The highest peak in North America is where it sits at 20,310 feet. The park is renowned for its stunning landscapes, ranging from the taiga forest to tundra and glaciers. It is home to abundant wildlife, including grizzly bears, moose, wolves, Dall sheep, and caribou, making it a prime destination for nature enthusiasts and wildlife photographers. Denali is accessible primarily by the Denali Park Road, a 92-mile route that offers breathtaking views and opportunities for wildlife spotting. Most of the road is restricted to park shuttle buses, preserving the natural environment and minimalizing human impact. Visitors can enjoy activities such as hiking, backpacking, mountaineering, and dog sledding, the latter being a nod to the park's early history. The park's wilderness is largely untouched, providing a true backcountry experience for adventurers.
All right. Our next legend is pretty terrifying. This would, if I was told this hundreds of years ago, right before I had to head out on my own across the Alaska wilderness, I'd probably be a little terrified. So
you just give up?
Yeah. We are talking about the legend of Keelut. So, like I said, location was Alaska. The habitat is forests. This creature is active day or night. Signs the creature is present: paw prints. The creature which is dog-like, stands nearly 2.5 feet tall. And the attributes, it's often described as a large black dog-like creature. In some accounts, it's hairless except for patches of fur around its feet. It may have glowing or reflective eyes, giving it kind of a spectral appearance. So paranormal classification, it's terrestrial, and its appearance is in the shape of a canine. So
I already have an opinion on what this is.
oh, do you?
I do.
Okay.
Go on.
So, according to Inuit stories that have been told by tribes ranging from the Alaska tundra to the Baffin Islands in Canada, the Quileute is often described as a large hairless dog-like creature, like I said, with fur only on its feet, ears, and tail tip. The unique appearance is believed to enable it to move silently, leaving no tracks in the snow, thus enhancing its stealth. The Quileute is said to be the spirit of death because it is said to hunt people at night, particularly wayward travelers who have gotten lost or have been foolish enough to wander the Alaskan wilderness alone after the sun has gone down. It is also believed to have spiritual mystic powers, a creature that lives both in the spirit world and the underworld, but can take physical form when it hunts its prey. It's allegedly been seen roaming the tundra or forests edges in northern Alaska, the Canadian Arctic, and other remote frigid regions. The legend of Quileute reflects the Inuit people's deep connection to their environment and the challenges they face in it. It basically is like the personification of how brutal life is in the Arctic wilderness. Like I said, this creature was frequently considered a spirit or omen rather than a normal animal. Some stories say it leaves no footprints. Other versions say it leaves footprints only around its target or victim, which vanish soon afterwards. Tribal elders who speak of the creature do not mention it physically attacking its prey. The Inuit legend says the creature stalks its prey and only has to make eye contact, and can even cause the strongest willed person to forget who they are and become paralyzed. The paralyzed victim falls to the ground and soon dies from hypothermia, allowing the Quileute to move in for the feast. So it doesn't even attack you. It just like paralyzes you by looking at you.
I know exactly what this is.
You die. Okay. So
I mean, it's my opinion.
Okay.
But
so the Quileute is said to appear during times of crisis, darkness, and extreme weather, sometimes as a harbinger of misfortune. So, in present day, the Quileute continues to influence modern culture, particularly in literature and media that explore supernatural themes. For instance, the novel Hold the Dark in 2014 by William Giraldi references the Quileute, intertwining the legend with contemporary storytelling. This novel was later adapted into a movie. The Quileute also shares similarities with other mythical creatures across cultures. For example, the Kikrim, the Kikern, is another Inuit dog spirit described as a large, bald dog that induces fear and convulsions in those who encounter it. However, unlike the Quileute, the Kikern is considered to be frightened of humans and will run away if seen by a shaman. So, what's your theory?
I think it's people who saw a bear with mange.
Oh, you think it's a mangy bear?
Yeah, I think it's because all right, now after seeing the Kikrin and the Quileute, again, look at both of these. Now look at a bear with mange.
We've looked at bears with mange before. Yeah.
Like look at that. That looks identical to the lore. Yeah. And even some of them have look at that one. That's terrifying looking.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're not attacking, it's because they're like weak.
Yeah.
They're probably scavenging. And I mean, bears' eyes definitely glow against fire at night.
Yeah.
Or like moonlight. And you're not going to see them all the time. So yeah, like a bear with mange losing its hair is terrifying looking.
Yeah.
So that's my theory.
So
I know we're not doing theories.
Joe solved it. It's
a Quileute.
Bear with mange.
It's a bear with mangy bears.
Yeah. Could be. I mean, a lot of these legends are. I was almost going to cover one of the. There's it's called the Banshee of Badlands National Park, or no,
I wasn't sharing the screen the whole time I was showing the bear's mange. Now I am.
Not Badlands. What's that park in southwestern Colorado that's sand? Sand dunes? No.
Great Dunes?
Great Sand Dunes National Park. Or
Yep.
There's a legend there of this spirit that roams, and people speculate that hundreds of years ago, people mistook.
Yeah, Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve.
Yeah,
The Indiana Dunes is the other one.
yeah. Oh, and that one has the legend of Sandsquatch.
Yeah?
I'm not joking.
Ooh, we haven't gotten a call from Sandsquatch.
Sandsquatch. I didn't cover that one because that's a newer
It's a new one.
internet legend.
It's just Bigfoot that
it's like
it's got way too much sand in its hair.
A trolling legend, but the one in Great Sand Dunes is really interesting because people speculate that Spanish explorers hundreds of years ago mistook those little like dust devils at night. Like, so there was like moonlight in the back, and then dust devils would spin up in the sand, and they would mistook that as like this like spirit that comes out of the sand.
That would look like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah, if you didn't know any better.
a lot of these legends are not completely unfounded. There's like what you were saying about like a bear with mange. Hundreds, years ago, maybe
People who don't understand that that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a whole scary new species that's terrifying looking.
And it's really just like a sick bear with like a bacterial infection on
Exactly.
its skin. But it's a lot of these legends are based in some unexplained event from hundreds or thousands of years ago. So, very interesting. Maybe it's a bear with mange. Maybe it is a demon dog from the underworld. I don't know.
It could be both.
Yeah. So,
Well, we're gonna move on to. I did say Americas specifically in the beginning because we're moving to the jungles of Venezuela to the Tepuy tribe or the Tepuy region.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. The Tepuy region is a distinctive area in South America, primarily within Venezuela's Gran Sabana, extending into parts of Ghana and Brazil. The Tepuy originates from the Paimon language, meaning house of the gods, reflecting the indigenous people's reverence for these formations. Tepuys are ancient flat-top mountains with vertical cliffs, remnants of vast sandstone plateaus that began eroding around 300 million years ago. They rise abruptly from the surrounding terrain with elevations ranging from 1,000 to 3,000 meters. Notable tepuys include Mount Roraima, standing at approximately 2,810 meters, and Oyan Tepuy, from which angels fall, the world's tallest waterfall at 979 meters. The isolation of Tepuy summits has led to unique ecosystems with a high degree of endemism. These islands above the rainforest host numerous plants and animal species not found elsewhere, including various carnivorous plants like the Heliamphora and the Drosera, as well as unique amphibians and reptiles. I can just see you smirking over there. The nutrient-poor soils and distinct climatic conditions contribute to specialized flora and fauna.
Whew. You got through it.
I think I did pretty good.
You did pretty good.
And ironically, I always do good on the ones that no one else knows what it is either, so they won't complain.
Yeah. So, have you ever seen the Rick Moranis movie, Little Shop of Horrors?
Yes.
So, wasn't there?
I also play Mario.
Yeah. Wasn't there a giant like human-eating plant in that movie?
Yes.
Okay. So we are talking about a legend, a tree that eats humans. So it's called the Yati Veo. Its location is in South America in the Venezuela area. Joe described it as the tree is said to live on a secluded and rarely visited Tepuy, a high and misty mesa in the Guana Highlands of South America, where the singular shrub grows and known to native tribes as the Yati Veo, which is called the ICU tree. Joe's pulling up pictures of it now.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying. That's more terrifying than the mangy bear.
Yeah. This...
Look at that drawing.
Yeah. This one is terrifying. If you can imagine...
like an octopus-style tree, or actually, in the What's the show that's out? The Upside Down. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name.
What show?
It's a Netflix series. Stranger Things.
Oh, Stranger Things.
The dogs that come out from the Upside Down.
Oh, I don't know.
The Demogorgon. How its
Demogorgon.
face opens up. That's what this tree looks like.
Okay.
For the listeners.
It's like a Venus flytrap on steroids.
Yeah.
So the habitat for this tree is jungles. Obviously, it can be active at any time of the day. Signs the tree is present. You'll see a lot of bones. So, the tree will stand fully grown at almost 24 feet tall. So, some of the attributes of the tree, in most accounts, the Devour is described as a stationary tree with long tendril-like branches that can ensnare and entangle unsuspecting creatures, including humans. Sometimes it's said to have a trunk covered in spine-like leaves or barbs that produce sap capable of dissolving organic material. There are many different descriptions of the plant, but most reports say it has a short, thick trunk and long tendril-like appendages. Some even claim it has an eye to locate its prey. Joe just had a picture up. It had like a mouth on it.
Yeah, these are just artist renditions.
Yeah.
You know, no one's got really a real image of it, so I'm just going to show artist
That
renditions.
one you just showed was terrifying.
Yeah,
the
the
previous
big
one.
mouth in the... Yeah.
That would be scary to see in the woods.
Yes. Yes, that would, Mike.
But kind of easy to get away. Just don't get too close.
Yeah, just stay away.
Yeah. So paranormal classification, this is a terrestrial form and appearance, undead. So kind of the origins of this legend, natives feared it as if it had bad omens and was thought to be the work of an evil witch doctor. In 1881, intrepid explorer Carl Leachy told the tale of a terrible tree that would feast upon the Madoko tribe of Madagascar. So this tree can also be found in other areas. There's some reports of the legend in, wow, that's terrifying. Madagascar, other parts of Africa. So the German gave a gruesome account of his encounter as the plant slobbered on a filly. Slender, delicate, no, this is his quote. Slender, delicate palpi with the fury of starved serpents quivered a moment over her head, then as if with instinct with demonic intelligence fastened upon her in sudden coils round and round her neck and arms. Then, while her awful screams and yet more awful laughter rose wildly, to be instantly strangled down again into the gurgling moan, the tendrils, one after another, like a great green serpent's, with brutal energy and infernal rapidity, rose and retracted themselves and wrapped her about in fold after fold, ever frightening with cruel swiftness and savage tenacity of anacondas fastening upon their prey. So, a pretty terrifying description of it eating somebody.
Yes.
So, in 1887, American author James W. Buell introduced the tree in his book Sea and Land, an illustrated history of the wonderful and curious things of nature existing before and since the deluge. Very long title. Buell described a carnivorous tree native to Central and South America, characterized by a short, thick trunk and long tendril-like branches equipped with serrated saw-like edges. These branches lay in wait along the ground, and then, when unsuspecting prey approached, they would swiftly ensnare and lift the victim into the air, draining their blood before discarding the lifeless body. So, stories of this tree really kind of rose to prominence in the 19th century. So, a lot of proliferation of sensational travel vlogs in newspapers and adventure books. These often included hyperbolic or downright fabricated accounts of monstrous flora and fauna in uncharted lands. Stories of man-eating trees from Madagascar, the so-called Madagascar tree or the Tangina tree, first appeared in newspapers in the late 1800s. The Yativeo legend is part of the same stories, though sometimes placed in Latin America instead.
Looks kind of like a bush in some of the pictures.
Yeah.
You know what kind of bush you want to stay away from, right?
What?
An ambush.
Oh.
Botany jokes, Mike.
Botany jokes.
They'll grow on you.
Yeah. Hey. So, despite the vividness of these accounts, there is no obviously scientific evidence supporting the existence.
Yeah, I
of
couldn't
such a
find
plant.
any real pictures of one.
The tales are widely regarded as myths or hoaxes, reflecting the fascination and fear of unexplored territories during the era. While the natural world does contain carnivorous plants such as Venus flytraps and pitcher plants, they are adapted to capturing and digesting insects and small animals, not creatures as large as humans. So, it's interesting that this legend took hold from a location in South America that's known for carnivorous plants. So, I mean, it's probably based in very limited reality in the sense that it's from an area where these plants exist. And I can picture,
Apparently, it appears in a video game.
Oh, does it?
I'm laughing because there's a paranoia, Creatures 2 paranoia. The Yati Veo is a boss in the video game. In the comments, can I bring a cultivated Yati Veo into a boss fight? No, drag weight is too high.
Can you?
I love the internet so much.
Before we get into Joe's quiz, can you Google what was the largest carnivorous plant ever on Earth?
Sure.
I'm just wondering if at some point
it's going to be like a bog. It's going to be something not exciting.
Not exciting like a man-eating tree, but I just wonder if at some point in Earth's history there was like a huge plant. Type in plant in Earth's history.
Oh.
Yeah.
To ever exist.
To ever exist. There we go. Now go to all so we can read it.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at images. According to most, this is the AI overview. According to most sources, the largest carnivorous plant currently known is the Nepenthes raha, also called the giant mountain pitcher plant, which is native to Borneo and can have pitchers growing up to 41 centimeters tall, capable of holding up to 3.5 liters of water, potentially catching small mammals and birds as prey.
So that's current. Is there anything on history? What's that? Ooh. Oh.
I think that's just showing that it exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty terrifying looking, though.
Yeah, I mean, it said it can eat birds. So
yeah.
That's pretty interesting. I just would imagine at some point in, like, Earth's history, like, there was a period...
Like that?
Yeah, that's obviously fake. But no, like that period in Earth's history back when...
There's a monkey in it.
Hundreds of millions of years ago when Earth's oxygen levels were higher.
Oh, and everything was just bigger?
Huge, like, insects that were on the planet. And you just wonder if there ever was a time period where there was, like, a carnivorous plant that could eat, like a
small dinosaur?
Yeah. So, interesting. Well, we'll keep looking for that information. Ooh.
This is Reddit, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's talking about insects. Pitcher plant.
So it sounds like kind of the same thing, the same plant.
Oh, there we go. I mean, I'm hoping to see, like, there was a Venus.
Oh, there's a scorpion the size of a dog.
Venus flytrap the size of a Greyhound bus existed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's just in movies, Mike.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into your game.
You're like
your
so
quiz.
disappointed.
I'm so disappointed.
You just wanted like a giant house, little shop of horrors plant.
Right. All right. So we got two little quizzes kind of.
All right. I did not look ahead in the notes.
Okay.
And I'm closing them right now,
and
so I'm not tempted to cheat.
Listeners at home, you can play along too. I mean, so first quiz is going to be 5 questions.
Let me guess first, though.
Yeah, well, so how it works is...
I was joking. I was talking to the people who are also playing at home.
Okay. I'm gonna just say what the legend is to you, and then you need to tell me if you think it's real, like it really existed at some point.
Okay.
If it's totally legend, or if it's like...
Can I give my opinion on if I thought it was a
say
real
whatever you
thing
want.
miscalculated?
Whatever you want, and then I'll go into kind of the historical and count and everything. So you can say, oh, that's real, that's a legend, or you can go, that's partially legend based on maybe something real that happened.
Okay.
Okay, so
All
let's start. Number 1. Dire wolves.
Dire wolves. What was the last one? Partially real, based on a real thing, but
So
it's like a legend.
it could be real or legend or like a mix.
Real.
Okay, is that your final answer?
Yeah.
You're right. So dire wolves were a real species of canid that lived during the late Pleistocene epoch, roughly 125,000
Yeah, and they're huge,
to
right?
10,000 years ago. Pretty big.
Like twice the size of a wolf.
No, they were just more muscular. So fossils have been found across Americas with
Jacked wolves.
a large concentration at the La Brea tar pits in Los Angeles. They were similar in appearance to modern gray wolves, but generally heavier and more robust with powerful jaws, adapting for taking down large megafauna. While they were real animals, modern pop culture often turns them into near mythical beasts, most notably in George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series and HBO's Game of Thrones, where dire wolves are portrayed as unusually large, intelligent, and closely bonded with the Stark family. Because
Specifically the Starks.
Yes. Because historical evidence about their behavior is limited to fossil records, many fictional portrayals can be speculative, emphasizing traits like size, strength, and loyalty to creature and create the legend. So, yeah, that I would say is real. Dire wolves really existed, just not the extent of...
Yeah, they're not huge.
Yeah. So, next legend. The Rock. Not
Dwayne.
The Johnson. It's called The Legend of the Rock. ROC. It's a giant bird of prey able to carry off an elephant.
Not real.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
All right. Partially real.
Partially
what I
real.
determined. Yeah. So,
You determined, or like there's a historical record?
well, after I read you this,
Are we talking about like a baby elephant?
just an elephant, like let's say full size. So
Okay.
hear me out. So the Rock is a giant bird of prey in Middle Eastern and Indian Ocean legends, famously able to carry off elephants in its talons. So Madagascar's extinct elephant bird was one of the largest birds ever to exist, standing up to 10 feet tall and weighing over 1,000 pounds.
Okay.
While it couldn't fly, giant bird sightings or tales may have circulated among sailors and traders, evolving into the Rock legend. There's also the Hast's eagle of New Zealand, another extinct giant raptor with a wingspan that could exceed 9 feet, which might contribute to the massive bird lore. So I said partially real because there was a 1,000-pound bird that existed, and then another eagle with a 9-foot wingspan. So
I was just stuck on there's no way any of those would be able to pick up an elephant.
no, so okay, when I say partially
If
real,
you said like a deer,
yeah,
like there's birds now that can
look
pick up
up
small deer.
extinct elephant bird. I really want to see what it looks like. So when I say partially real, I mean like the legend is based partially in fact. So like, elephant bird, that thing's massive.
Yeah.
It looks like a giant ostrich.
Yeah, it does. It was just the dinosaurs regressing back to birds.
That would be terrifying to see if you didn't. I mean, look at it compared to the size, that one diagram below your cursor compared to a human.
Yeah, well, here you go.
Yeah.
Always the dumb caveman just standing there.
So that thing's huge. So
That's not that unbelievable because this is a normal size ostrich.
yeah.
Ostriches are pretty big.
So
yeah, back in the day when everything was larger.
yeah. So
That's the trick right there. You got to hide behind the tree and just stab it in the butt.
so I listed that as partially real only because there were massive birds at the time that existed. So people may have mistaken, if you're on a boat off in the ocean, you see this giant elephant bird walking around.
Yeah.
So
And then you lie a little bit and be like, I saw it take an elephant.
then you just add that part into it, so that makes it fake. So we'll say partially real to mostly not real, but a giant bird
I love your
existed.
rating system. It's
Yeah.
kind of adjusting
Very
itself.
subjective.
Yeah.
All right, number 3, unicorns.
Unicorns. Oh, I don't. Okay, so I'm saying not real,
Yeah.
but I feel like unicorns do exist. They're just gray and they're huge. Like a rhinoceros is a unicorn. Now, if you're talking about the unicorn that like flies, yeah, no,
Okay.
not real.
So I put mostly legend.
Mostly legend.
Yeah. So unicorns are typically depicted as beautiful horse-like creatures with a single spiral horn on their foreheads, known for magical or healing properties, like in Harry Potter, where the blood, like
Voldemort drinks the blood.
Yeah, it makes you like undead.
Yep.
Early travelers or merchants might have told embellished tales of rhinoceros. A single horn in a horse-like silhouette viewed from a distance could inspire unicorn stories. In medieval Europe, traders sometimes sold narwhal tusks as unicorn horns. These tusks, harvested from Arctic waters, would have seemed astonishing and magical to those who had never seen the sea creature they came from. And narwhals still look...
Oh, they look fake.
They look fake. When I've seen them, like, I've never seen one in person, but like on a documentary, I'm like, that's not real.
Yeah.
Like, it looks too
Who
ridiculous.
glued that on there?
So that's why I said...
Someone just took a beluga whale and glued a stick to it.
Yeah. So that's why I said mostly legend. Okay. So like you said, a rhinoceros is like an ugly unicorn.
Yeah. It kind of meets almost all the attributes if you don't think of a unicorn as a magical thing.
Yeah.
And like the idea of like a horse having a horn, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like not crazy because you see a narwhal's horn now or a rhinoceros. And you're like, oh, yeah.
And that makes
have horns.
Total sense that some scammer would harvest those in medieval Europe and then sell them as unicorn horns.
Yes.
For like probably way more.
Yeah. Like you grind it up and it'll cure ghosts.
Yeah. So mostly.
You got ghosts in your blood. You need unicorn horn.
Right. So mostly legend. All right. Next one. The Kraken.
The Kraken.
The Kraken.
Well, I think fake because that's lore from like ancient Greece and Rome.
Well, think more of like what the
Zeus.
The Kraken was. So think of like, remember Pirates of the Caribbean? The giant squid.
Oh, I'm thinking of Titans. Never mind.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of Titans. I'm getting them screwed up. Then true.
Okay.
Yeah, giant squid could easily take down smaller old boats.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I said likely real.
Yeah.
So the Kraken is a legendary sea monster said to dwell off the coasts of Norway and Greenland. Early lore described it as an enormous tentacled creature capable of capsizing ships. Today, we know that giant and colossal squids actually exist in depths of the ocean, growing up to 40 feet in length. Before modern deep-sea exploration, washed-up remains of these enormous squids would have been deeply mysterious, thus fueling the lore of Kraken. So,
yeah, like we have huge ones now.
Now,
like 40 feet.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's huge.
Now, I don't think they would, like, do they come to the surface and could take down like a whole, ship? Who knows?
I think they could. Has it happened? Probably not. But if one washes ashore and ships go missing off the coast, and you're back then and don't know anything about, biology or how the world works.
Yeah.
You'll start making assumptions like, look at that. That thing's dangerous.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. I feel like the Kraken itself, real, just based on what they've found, but stories of it taking down like galleons.
Yeah, I don't
probably
think that.
not.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, final one of this quiz, then we'll get on to the fun quiz.
All right. I thought this was the fun quiz.
No, this is the preamble.
Okay.
Cyclops.
Cyclops. Like the really large one that grinds people's bones?
From like mythology.
Not real.
Okay. Yeah, I put it as legend.
Okay. I didn't know if you were gonna be like, there was this mountain man that was really tall and they're known as cannibals.
I'm not trying to trick you.
Okay. I'm saying like there might have been like a tall cannibalistic species in the woods somewhere. Okay.
So Cyclops in Greek mythology were giant one-eyed beings known for their immense strength and blacksmithing skills. Most famously, Odysseus encounters the Cyclops how do you say that? Polyphemus? Oh, I put the phonetic spelling there. Polyphemus in Homer's Odyssey.
Okay.
So paleontologists propose that ancient Greeks or their predecessors may have discovered fossilized skulls of dwarf elephants or other mammoths or mastodons. Elephant skulls have a large central nasal cavity where the trunk attaches, which could be mistaken for a single giant eye socket.
Okay.
So, legend, but based on maybe...
Based on fossil records, just they're... Again,
they just don't know what it is.
They don't know science.
They see a mammoth skull and think like it's a cyclops.
Yeah, and if it looks like a person's head,
yeah,
then they think it's like a mutant human giant.
Yes.
Because that's easier for them to rectify.
Yeah. Okay, final quiz of the night.
All right.
Joe, how many variants of Bigfoot can you name? And these are distinct variants from different regions of the world.
Oh, like Yeti, Sasquatch.
Well, I mean, you want to start it? I have 10 listed. There's way more than
There's
that.
10?
Oh, there's more than that.
Holy cow.
Yeah. I have 10 distinct varieties of Bigfoot type cryptids. So Bigfoot, you got 1 point.
All right, so Bigfoot.
So, all right, yeah.
So, like, I can't say Bigfoot and Sasquatch. That's the same thing?
Bigfoot and Sasquatch, yeah. You can't say Sasquatch.
All right, there's going to be some people upset if they're like, well, actually, Sasquatch is more common in the northeastern region.
So
Yeti.
Okay, that's one I had.
Sand Squatch.
Well, I guess we can count that because I told you about it, but I don't have that listed.
Okay.
Some of these you probably won't get.
I'm sure I won't get all of them. I'm sure you're going to say one and it's going to ring bells.
Yeah.
But I'm like Yeti, Sasquatch, and that's it.
Okay.
I'll be honest and I'll tell you if I've heard the name and I just didn't think of it now.
I know you probably have heard a few of these. So
I'm sure I have.
Obviously, all right, Bigfoot.
Yep.
Or sometimes called Sasquatch, commonly associated with Pacific Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Grassman.
Never heard of that one.
So the Grassman is a legendary cryptid primarily associated with the state of Ohio.
I thought it was Snoop Dogg.
No. Particularly eastern regions of the Shawnee Forest and the Appalachian Mountains. The legend dates back to 1869 when the first sightings described a large, hairy bipedal creature standing around 9 feet tall.
Does he make your white New Balances all green and stained?
I don't know.
He's just slightly annoying.
Yeah,
like grass stains your stuff. You're like, oh man.
All right, next one is the skunk or swamp ape.
Never heard of that one.
So the skunk ape, also known as the swamp ape, is a legendary creature most commonly associated with the Everglades and other swampy regions of Florida.
Ooh, that'd be a terrifying one.
Yeah.
I'm scared of the Everglades just as it is.
Right. This cryptid is often described as a large bipedal ape-like being standing over 6 feet tall with distinctive foul odor reminiscent of a skunk. So there you go.
Smell them coming.
Next one is the Yucca Man.
I've heard of the Yucca Man.
Yeah.
We've done an episode on the Yucca Man.
Have we?
Or
Maybe we
like
mentioned
in an episode it's been mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what it is, but I've heard of that one.
The Yucca Man is a legendary creature associated primarily with the deserts of Southern California, particularly the areas around Joshua Tree National Park, Yucca Valley, and the 29 Palms Marine Corps Base. Described as a large, hairy, bipedal figure similar to Bigfoot, the Yucca Man is often depicted as a desert-adapted counterpart to the forest-dwelling Sasquatch. So,
all right.
Next one I'm going to have trouble saying. It's called the Mapinguare.
Never heard of that one.
So, it's a legendary creature deeply rooted in the folklore of the Amazon rainforest, particularly within Brazil and Bolivian indigenous cultures. Described as a large, sloth-like being with formidable claws and a pungent odor, it's often depicted as a guardian of the forest, punishing those who disrespect nature. So,
I like that one.
The next one you got was the Yeti. So,
I got it.
Yeah. The Yeti, often referred to as the abominable snowman, is legendary creature said to inhabit the Himalayan mountains, particularly regions of Nepal and Tibet. The legend of the Yeti is deeply rooted in folklore of the indigenous peoples of these areas. For instance, the Sherpa people have long spoken of a creature known as Yeti or Meta, describing it as a large ape-like being that roams the high altitudes of the Himalayas.
So I knew that one.
You knew that one. The next one is Yowie.
I feel like I've heard of that one, but I don't want to say I have for sure.
Yeah. So the Yowie is a legendary creature deeply embedded in Australian Aboriginal folklore, often described as a large ape-like being inhabiting the remote wilderness areas of Australia. The term Yowie was documented as early as 1875 among the people of New South Wales and southern Queensland. In their traditions, the Yowie is considered a nocturnal spirit that roams Earth at night. So,
Sounds terrifying.
does sound terrifying.
If you didn't think everything else in Australia would kill you,
The Yowie will get
no,
you.
yeah, he'll get you too.
All right, I got 3 more.
All right.
The Almas.
Never heard of that one.
So, found in the folklore of Central Asia, particularly Mongolia, the Almas is described as a wild, human-like creature inhabiting mountainous regions. Unlike other cryptids, the Almas is often portrayed as more human than ape. So,
Okay.
the next one...
It's just a hairy guy one day.
Yeah, right? Our friend Jack.
Yes.
The next one is called the Orang Pedek. So this creature is part of the folklore of Sumatra, Indonesia, described as a short bipedal primate. It is said to inhabit remote forests and is noted for its elusive nature. So,
All right.
So the final one.
Final one. Because I got so many correct.
Hibagon.
No, I don't think I've heard of that one.
So the Hibagon is Japan's version of Bigfoot-like creature, reportedly seen in the forests around Mount Hiba. Unlike other similar creatures, this one is described as smaller, standing about 5 feet tall with a gorilla-like appearance.
Okay.
It is amazing that places all over the world, from a time, a lot of them before there was really easy word of mouth, like a story from probably the southwestern United States is not going to make its way to Central Asia in the early 1800s.
Or translate so closely to what?
Like an indigenous tribe from the southwestern United States story about the Yucca Man is not going to be read and interpreted by someone in Central Asia and turned into their own legend in the early 1800s. So it's...
Or even just Bigfoot to Yeti.
Yeah.
It's like pretty much the exact same creature, just like a polar bear and a black bear.
But in a lot of these...
That's really what it is. It's just bears standing on their
Right.
hind legs, seen from far away.
Yeah. But it is amazing. A lot of these stories, like the Yeti from the
They're
Himalayas...
all just bears.
They're all just bears.
Mangy bears,
Yeah.
regular bears, big bears.
But a lot of them have Native American origins, and they go back hundreds, if not thousands of years.
Yeah.
All over, like we covered Brazil, Japan, Central Asia, Australia, the Himalayas.
Or just the first con man that traveled well, just
Right.
ran around different countries selling the same story.
The narwhal guy is also telling
just
the tales
make
of
it,
Bigfoot.
just making it like culturally relevant to wherever he was.
Yeah. So that's all I had. So Joe, what you got? 2 or 3, I think.
I got like two.
There you go. I wouldn't have gotten any of these either, though. So, those of you listening at home, let us know if you got more than Joe did. There were even more than this.
I'm sure they did.
There's dozens of different cryptids, like Bigfoot. So
That's crazy.
I picked like the most interesting ones.
Like, what's like one of the most boring ones?
I mean, they're all just kind of like variants of Bigfoot,
Okay.
and some of them are.
Here we go. Hold on. I love good window low. There he
Yeah.
is. Look
I
at
love it.
Look what is happening.
There we go.
Hopefully he doesn't run out in the street and get hit by a car like that one guy.
Right.
So anyway.
Anyways.
Well, thanks again for tuning into our show. We appreciate you all for listening. And definitely, of course, you're all sharing Locations Unknown with your friends and family. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, where you can find the videos of each episode if you want to see all the cool pictures we were pulling up during this one. Also, if you want to support us even better monetarily, visit our website or Facebook store to buy some sweet swag. Additionally, you can subscribe to our Patreon account and YouTube and Apple, where you'll have access to additional episodes, special events that are just for paid customers only. And lastly, when enjoying the beauty of nature, whether backpacking, camping, or simply taking a walk, always remember to leave no trace. Thanks, and we will see you all next time.